way easier to get 1,000 people to download something for free than get 1,000 people to buy something. If you have 1,000 people that make you $1, you again made $1,000. I kind of look at it as a game of numbers, right? So you need a big numbers and find a way that these people make you money without them spending money. From one song, you can make like $50,000 with no problem. It just happens in a very small numbers. If you look at the 1,000 people, and that one of those make those numbers, and nobody kind of loses. It's always a win-win situation.
My name's Sabrina Romanov. Super excited today to be speaking with tunnA Beatz. He's a music producer with over 300,000 YouTube subscribers and more than 1 billion streams across songs worldwide. I'm actually on his YouTube page right now, and I see songs produced by him that have around 100 million views, like multiple songs. That's crazy. Super excited to have you on today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so exciting for me to be here with you. I found you actually through TikTok because of the content that you provide for people who wants to build with the AI. And when ChatGPT first came out, I started in a code pen and I was like, this cannot be true. Like you cannot use something and build code for you. And then I started one thing, another thing, and I realized, hey, this actually can do things, and from there it was like crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah. Would you mind sharing with the audience a little bit about your background in music and then what you're doing now building with AI?
So I'm music producer full-time already for 10 years plus even now. I don't know anything about coding. I never went any school. I actually finished school for chef, right? And kind of always had a passion for technology, I would say. So that was pretty cool then when it came. But the music has been my passion and everything that I've been doing for past 10 years. And I was very, very lucky that I could actually do music full time constantly, and it just started without any music background as well. Like I don't know anything about music, which is so interesting because I believe that I became successful because I really loved it. None of my parents have music background. My family, nobody have a music background. I never did any music school. So it was everything like a lot of failure, I would say.
Yeah, that's amazing. And congrats to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So what are you building now with AI? Is it related to music as well?
Yes. So this is actually where interesting part comes because I see a lot of people on TikTok and other social media in general saying, you can build in 3 clicks and it does it. And I was like, can you? And then it just comes to the point because I build a full music platform. Like my codes currently have over 100 backend endpoints, probably have more than 200 components in general. I build also on side of the website called BeatSplit, which is basically a website that provides free for-profit beats to artists who are just starting and stuff in exchange for royalty split. So in my business, currently the way I was operating for 10 years is basically you as an artist, you come, you pay me like $20, $30, $50 depending on license you want. And then you have limited amount of streams and sales you can achieve with this specific license. And BeatSplit, in other hand, removes that upfront payment, but then comes afterwards royalty split, which basically means when you release your song, then I start getting paid.
And this BeatSplit, was this entirely built with AI?
Completely AI and completely by me.
And with no coding background?
No coding at all. It was very, very long. That's why I was very impressed when you released Blotato. And then you said, here are the things I could do better. And one of the things was I should release it earlier. I was like sitting home and I'm thinking, I'm building this for 1 year. And I'm like, how do you release it earlier? But I did a lot of mistakes that I would love to point for people who are going to watch this, and that is use dependencies, use templates. When I start building, I build everything from scratch. I didn't know about it, and I found it hard way because what happened was, so BeatSplit is still not even like a completely public. It's not yet real launch. The reason why was I sent it to my subscribers, right? And I asked for 100 people to come and check the website and we do. So we got more than 100 users on the first day coming and testing the website. And where it failed was cookies. I didn't know that most people use browsers with the blocked cookies.
It is common nowadays, yeah?
Yes. And when I was developing it, I said, ChatGPT, what is the highest possible protection using for the security? And he said cookies. And I said, remove local storage, put everything in cookies. And that was the mistake.
Oh, wow.
Because what happened was people who came, 120 users came from mobile phone.
Yeah, it's similar for me as well.
And these users, since I didn't have local storage, they could not create the account. And that was a very, very,
and that's the reality of launching stuff, though. Like, you're not really going to know that until you launch it. And just for the podcast audience, since you don't have a visual, I'm at his website right now, beat-split.com, and it looks really, really good. Incredibly well designed, super intuitive for me. I would absolutely not think that this was 100% made by AI with someone who doesn't have technical experience.
Yeah, it's 100% AI, yeah. And I use ChatGPT from beginning until now. Yeah. Only ChatGPT.
Are you on 4.0 now or 01? Has it made any difference?
Well, yeah, I have Pro. So I did that, and it was completely back and forth.
Wow, so you were just copy pasting back and forth. So what did you do when there was an error? Like, how did you tell ChatGPT, because it's not hooked up to your editor?
So I was screenshotting a lot. I would copy, and then I tell him, and debugging. I debug everything constantly. I just tell him, drop console log everywhere. And then I see what is happening. And I said, this look weird. And then I go back and forth. It's very impressive to me. I'm completely mind blown by the technology. There is a lot of this conversation. Can AI replace developers and stuff? And I truly believe that creativity is going to come to shine here.
Yeah, because people now who just have an idea but may not have had the budget to hire somebody, but now you can take your idea, start building it, start showing it to people, especially if you have an existing audience, get feedback really quickly.
I already have 7 producers on the platform. Those were closer friends of mine to upload the beats. They uploaded the beats, and also I built the mobile app as well.
What was the timeline when you started it? Was it the same idea, and have you just been hacking away at it, or have you pivoted a bunch on the idea?
So the main idea is everything that is now. So some of the videos that I was sending to my friend who is one of the producers on the platform, I was sending him when I started. And here is also one mistake that I did. When I came into it, I didn't know what is React, what is Angular, what is Vue. I never heard of it. I didn't even know about databases. I just thought somehow magically you just have that something somewhere stored. I didn't know. When I started building first idea, I used plain HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Completely from empty folder, putting index.html and starting from this. And in one point, I was building a tracks page, which have so many different components, so many different functions. And I reached to like 1,000 lines of code. At that time, that was very beginning. ChatGPT was very limited with the text. And I could not figure out this is where it goes. I cannot fix anything after it. I don't know what to do. And
so you were stuck at that point.
Yeah. That was maybe 2 months into building. So I built a homepage, I built tracks, I built login and registration, and I built kind of a dashboard. And then it was just, I had to delete everything. And I deleted complete project, and I started building again from scratch. But this time I started using React.
That's amazing, because my last podcast guest, actually, he talked about restarting his project more than 10 times. How do you have the conviction to do that? You got stuck 2 months in. How did you know I should keep going? I'm just going to keep trying.
I believe it's because for me, it's not about the money. The will to build this website wasn't motivated by money or by anything like that. I had this idea and I wanted to build it. And I kind of look at this all as a learning process. Out of BeatSplit, I also built another platform. I call it Blocks, which is basically a bunch of blocks that you have all kinds of audio tools, like equalizer, normalizers. And I just love building audio stuff. I don't know why. When it comes to building platforms or more simple apps than this, as a beginner, as somebody who doesn't know anything, you should never be what can I do to make money? It should always be, what problem can I solve for other people that they would love this?
And it's tough, because that's the main question I get from people. It's what idea should I build? Instead of thinking about who are you solving a problem for? And I love in your case that this problem emerged naturally from everything you do. in your daily life, right? It's similar with me in Blotato. I was a creator, so I experienced pain points. I've tried 10 different tools, and I was like, no,
And
I
you
want to build
realize,
it very like opinionated on the thing that I want to exist, even if the first
yeah,
version is terrible. So
yeah, I have more than 400,000 subscribers. The reason I get those amount of subscribers was because I was giving my beats for free. But then I realized most people don't make money with the music. You have a very, very large portion of the musicians who never make it, who never make even $100 in their career. And I'm thinking, well, to me, it's not going to mean anything if they give me $25. Like, here, take the beat. If you make a song, if you make $1, give me $1, it's fine. I don't mind, because I kind of look, everything is way easier to get 1,000 people to download something for free than get 1,000 people to buy something. But then when you look at it, it's like, if you have 1,000 people, they make you $1, you again made $1,000. Then I kind of look at it as a game of numbers, right? So you need a big numbers and find a way that these people make you money without them spending money. That's kind of the idea of a BeatSplit, is because those people, they paid from Spotify, iTunes, and stuff like that. But then again, we had very success, me and my friends in the music, that you would have an artist where from one song you can basically make like $50,000 with no problem. It just happens in a very small numbers. Then if you look at the 1,000 people, and that one of those make those numbers, and nobody kind of loses, it's always a win-win situation.
Yeah, because you're enabling a lot of folks who are just starting out and don't have big budgets and are trying to make their first dollar in music. So I love that model, like really empowering those folks to not have any blockers. They don't have to pay a big amount up front, and like very uncertain outcome.
A lot of people quit too fast.
It's the same for content creation.
Yeah.
I always tell everyone, if you just keep going, you will be successful. Like, I guarantee you.
Like, if I quit at that time when JavaScript let me down in HTML and I never moved to React, I wouldn't do it today. And not just that, my BeatSplit channel, when I made that channel was three down.
What? Wow, for copyright or something else?
Well, at the time when I started it, I started the idea as taking samples from famous songs and sampling them and giving this for free. And first month, I got like 5,000 subscribers instantly. Second month, I went almost to 12,000 or something like that. And then they deleted everything. They removed my channel.
So you had to start from scratch, or did you recover it?
Yeah,
wow.
Again. And then a second time, the issue was at the time we used tags in description. Like, you just spam bunch of tags and that rank you higher. And that was against the policy of YouTube. And since I had like in every video a bunch of tags, they deleted everything.
What? So you started over now twice completely on YouTube?
Yes.
Wow.
And then third time, I had the problem. That was a very stupid, I guess, from YouTube, but everyone can come on your video and take it down. And some guy took my beat and he copyrighted the beat and he took my video down and I got strike from YouTube.
What? He took your beat, copyrighted it, and then took your... What?
Yes. And they strike my channel and my channel was blocked for 3 months after that. And then after that, I never used any samples. Everything was original afterward. And then it took off. Then it got 200,000 and then 300,000. It's again, never giving up. And I said to myself, okay, well, this guy comes and steals my beat and he now thinks he did something. Fine. I still have knowledge on how to make beats. I will make a better one. Tomorrow I will make something new. Day after, maybe I make something that will blow up. And I think it's just a perspective that you need when something seems very, very hard. Keep going. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that makes total sense how you kind of brought that same mindsets into coding. Yeah. And also, I am curious why you chose not to use other tools like Cursor AI. What made you want to just stay using ChatGPT?
Well, I started with ChatGPT. Since I was completely in beginning, I used Visual Studio for coding. So when I started with ChatGPT, my workflow was like copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And I just learn it. And I love the new 01 model or one. They have limit, I think like 50 messages. So I use it carefully, but every time I need something very complex, then I only use it and I try to think very smart how I'm going to ask the question. So it comes to the closest to what I need.
I actually love that aspect of your journey that you stuck to one tool that you had already learned really well, because I do feel like with all the new tools coming out, sometimes people have a bit of FOMO.
I kind of believe is when you learn something, because it's not about the tool, it's about the knowledge about the tool. So you can give me cursor and it can be better than ChatGPT, I believe. But in the end, the point is the result that you're going to get. Now, some might get faster there, some slower, but in the end, it doesn't matter because you can, let's say, have a guy who's going to build the app in 3 days and great. But what's next? Then you have a person who is going to build app for, let's say, 5 years, but in 5 years is going to grow huge fan base of users. So I kind of look at these things and I think always like, maybe I just stick with what I know and what I do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's amazing to hear that has worked, sticking to that one tool. You were talking about using O1 for more complex tasks. Do you have any tips and tricks for the audience who non-technical background, trying to use AI to code? When it comes to like the more complex tasks, what is your process for prompting or any tips and tricks to troubleshoot issues?
That's actually a very interesting thing because I always looked at the prompts, right? Like that people use. And I'm like, I never, since ChatGPT came out, I never used prompt like the way you see people do. Like you are professional developer and you do this for me. And I talk to him like, bro, what's up? Like it's constantly like that. I talk to ChatGPT like it's a human. These small details in asking a question, I feel like you really need to know beforehand what you need and how that needs to work. Because what I did is I went by components. If I know I'm going to create a music player, I think, what do I need? I need play pause button. I need previous and the next button. I need volume up and mute the volume. And I need repeat button. So I will not tell him, hey, create a player needs to have this, and this. I will say, create a play button, create this, create that. And then all these components, when I made them, I say now create a new component called player and import all these components into this component. And that worked way much faster for me than before. When I started, I would be like, oh yeah, create me whole website.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah,
in my Build SaaS with AI YouTube series, like the first 2 videos are just about clarifying what it is you want to build. Because it's truly the most important step. Like if you don't know what you're going to build, like how are you going to communicate it to a person? And so I always encourage people like non-technical to go through that process just to clarify, how do you want things to work? Like get practice being able to think through that, because it's going to help you communicate in the future, whether it's AI or to a developer that you hire.
Yeah, definitely. And I saw one developer a long time ago. He mentioned that in real jobs, like when developer meet and stuff like that, he said that they go a lot through documentation and what needs to be built more than actually building. And it's actually true, because when you kind of know what you are doing, when you know all use effects and all hooks and all contexts that you need to put in one, for you, it's not going to take too long to code something, but you really need to be careful and know exactly what's the logic behind it. Because I saw like with ChatGPT, sometimes I'd say, hey, I need the component for this, and he gives me like text like this. And then by the time I finish, it's like this. It's same function, but we just added a lot of ifs and checks and errors. And what I learned, this is also something very important that I didn't know in the beginning. When I started first building platform, luckily I had my friends who are producers giving me feedback early in a process. I build it how I think, oh, this looks good, this worked fine, and all that. But then when I give them, they're like, oh,
confused.
Where do I click and stuff like that? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, it's kind of obvious, no? And he said, yeah, but it's weird. It should be on this side. And then I realized they are right. I'm not right. I build how I thought, but they are users, and people like them will be using platform, not people like me. So the best possible scenario for everyone is just to make sure that you have close friends and family and anyone checking your website and giving feedback. I think feedback is the best thing
And so how early on did you start showing it to people and giving feedback? So we talked about September was when you kind of ran into that wall, switched to React, and then how much longer after that before you started showing it to folks?
It's been a very actually long time because I first want to say when I started building with HTML and CSS, I was like sending to my friend almost every day. I remember first time when I connected database with MongoDB, I was like, yo, what is this? Like, look at this, how it's like, it was so everything new to me. Like backends, I had also server, backend and front end at the same. Then I had to separate them when I was uploading to DigitalOcean. But before that was very long time. I was always on localhost and I didn't know how to publish this online.
Yeah.
So there was actually then a very big fail again because I could not really check it on the phone. I was just like using a bit, how you call them, emulators or something like that. But then when it comes to the phone, then everything becomes different. It's not the same.
It's a whole other beast.
Yes. So I didn't like that. So at that time, it took very long time until actually people could check. But then I came to my friend with my laptop and we connected to his screen and stuff and all that. And he checked it. Then he gave me a lot of feedback. Then I switched to template, right? So I had one template for dashboard and this is where I started from. And I was using Bootstrap as well. So parts of the code was using an REM, I think it's called. And I would use Pixel, just PX, right? Because it's kind of easier. And then I come to his place and he using Zoom in your Google Chrome, right? So you know how you can set in the settings to zoom out the letters. Everything was all over the place because some letters was using pixels, but pixel is fixed. So if you zoom your thing, EM zoom out, but
so you learned about responsive design, yeah.
It was terrible. And then I had to go home and redo everything with EM and fix it. But it's a good feedback. Again, I would encourage people, do not rush too much if you don't know what you are doing. If you are like me, complete beginner who do not know what they are doing in coding, should be very, very careful. Because just the idea ChatGPT can do everything for you, it can, but he's not going to give you an advice, hey, but by the way, also add this in your file.
Yeah, I mean, I always encourage folks, if you're brand new to it, your expectation should be that you're going to learn development.
Yes.
You kind of have to in the process in order to communicate effectively back and forth.
This tool, like such as ChatGPT or Cursor, is much more tool for learning. It does task for you and it's great, but I think it's better when you learn, because once you learn, then you can go even faster. But if you don't know, then it's very, very hard for beginners.
The most productive people I know with AI coding tools are very senior engineers because they can contain the whole architecture in their mind, tell ChatGPT or Claude or whatever using exactly what to build. And then it's 80% there. They don't have to do the plumbing and scaffolding because they know how everything connects.
I said to my friend, he's also working as a data scientist, I wanted to implement machine learning on a BeatSplit, so it suggests tracks to users based on what they listen, not based on, because currently I have like based on tags and genres and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Like a recommendation system.
A recommendation system, yeah. So I wanted to give them more like actual, like, for example, this sounds more like this, so we're going to suggest you this one. So I send him my Git, and he right away say, yeah, but don't include the E and the V in your Gits. And I'm like, I removed them. And I did remove them, but they were there for, I don't know, whatever reason. And probably somewhere in when I was doing, like I messed up something. This is why I'm saying I have so many things in my head, because I've been thinking a lot about this whole situation and watching a lot of your videos and other people's videos. I feel like on internet, the whole idea is to sell people something. Every time I see people, I'm just thinking, you're trying to sell. You're not providing information. And I believe more people would learn if they have correct information. A lot of people don't understand about the coding is not just about the code. This is very, very interesting. I would say that's why I don't believe that AI is going to replace developers, because I believe it's not about the code. There is way more to it. SEO, we can just take, for example, is a huge part of successful companies. Analytics, databases, like there is way more comes to it than just building an app or a platform. I think a lot of people should pay attention more to that and truly believe that they need to learn. still, even 2025 should learn coding and understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was really fun about my Build SaaS with AI series is like you can see me like going back and forth all of the time, like
Yeah.
nonstop to implement
I
one
watched it.
feature.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's just what I wanted to show though. One of my videos where I used ChatGPT for Mac OS, the desktop app, with Xcode to build a mobile app. About 75% of that video is just plumbing. Like I'm signing up for a Firebase account, I'm grabbing my API key, I'm
Yeah.
copy pasting the OpenAI API docs
Yeah.
and sending it to ChatGPT. I don't know what else to call it. It's just like the work. That's the work.
I also moved to Firebase after we had 100 users tested the website, and most of them had issues signing up because of the cookies. I was like, what to do now? And then I asked ChatGPT, is there authentication? Because I was thinking I cannot now build again with the local storage and changing this and change. And I said, is there some dependency I can use? And he said, yeah, very popular Firebase. And I was like, give me, I love Google. Google, nice people.
Yeah, I still love Google.
They have very good APIs, very good documentations, and make everything very good. So
what's your next steps with BeatSplit?
that is very good question. Well, I have already to-do list for whole this year.
Wow.
I work mostly every single day, 8 to 14 hours a day, every day.
Wow. How do you balance content creation, music production, and also building this? And also, have you thought about hiring someone to help? Like, how do you think about that?
Yeah. So I definitely do not do music. I didn't do music now almost 1 year.
Wow.
So what I did was in the last year, I created like 50 beats beat pack that I made like a sale for it. And then I was like, okay, now I have 50 beats for this year that I can just schedule and stuff. And people can still have to see something from me. 2024, I think I made like 2 beats whole year.
Wow.
Was completely focused on coding. And now my first big plan is release mobile app that we have. When I sent to my subscribers on list, I said, hey guys, I built this website called BeatSplit that you can do this. And one guy reached out to me and he said, hey, I've been a web developer for like 7 years in a German bank. And he said, I would love to talk to you about it and help you if I can, right? And I said, sure, yeah, let's jump on a Zoom call and let's see what we can do. So I definitely would love to work with developers. I would definitely love to include more people on the project and make this go faster. One of my friends actually also now offered to join BeatSplit and help with the promotion.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people understand the value of the website because these people that reach out to me are all artists. Even a friend of mine that is that gonna be doing promotion, he's artist, but he's very, very well-known artist. He have like 1 million subscribers on YouTube almost.
Wow.
So I feel like when you find a problem that people experience and you believe that you can do something for the problem, it's just not quitting.
And so can you talk more about the switch from being a music producer, creating all of that content, to full-time coding? What gave you the conviction to really just focus on this? And I'm asking in the context of like, I don't know if you've seen some of my TikToks, but I'm saying I'd love to see more creators build products instead of sell courses. And so I'm curious how you got to this point where you knew you wanted to go full-time in building this app.
When I was chef at first and I decided I want to do music full-time job. I just did it. I said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go. And I have this workaholic character that I just love working. For me, I don't feel, I have to work. I'm like, what do I do today? So I feel like I lost that in music. I lost that drive that I was like, I cannot wait to make another beat. I had Billboard plug, 2 YouTube plugs. I had movies in Netflix and on Prime and everywhere. And I had music in video games. And I just felt like I don't have anything else to offer. And I believe for me to work with the big music artists, I need to network. And I'm not a person who networks. I like sitting home.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I'm like thinking, I don't want to now go in LA and chase somebody. Hey, listen to my music. I'm fine here. So when ChatGPT came out, when I started coding, I realized this is something that I really love to do. And I have so many ideas and I have every day 3 new ideas that I'm just writing down. Problem that I have sometimes is that I like to jump from one idea to another. It's very hard to be strictly focused.
Yeah, it is.
It's very hard. For example, you see some opportunity somewhere and you feel like, I need to act fast.
And they're real opportunities. They're like many of them are real, especially like with your audience. I'm sure people are like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And they're all great ideas.
Yeah, exactly. And then actually not a long time ago, I saw one video that it says like idea does not matter. Execution is what matters. And it's true because I believe the idea that I have, I'm not first one. I didn't like invented touchscreen, or something. It was probably somewhere somebody had the same idea. They just didn't do it. And it probably happened to you as well. Did you ever like get the idea and you go on Google and you be like, hey, let me see if somebody did this and there is already 5
Yeah,
in?
my space is super crowded. I
Yeah.
mean, the content creation space, there's like millions of tools out there.
And it doesn't matter which is the best. It does not matter because the way you put something in front of the people and the way you communicate with them and build toward that, they're going to appreciate more than if just somebody comes and makes something very professional and very good right away and nobody wants to use it. Same goes with the music. I feel like this is very creative space for me. It's truly see coding as a creative work. It's not just the technical. Yes, there is a lot of technical and a lot of logical work, but it's very creative.
I think that's what a lot of people miss in the AI coding debate. It's very, very creative. How do we solve a problem? That's what the engineering mindset is all about.
The other day I was sitting here and I'm just like, I have the greatest idea of all time. This is it. I'm going to get the award. And then I was like, this is the idea. I was like, what if there is a tool that can implement audio fingerprint, let's say, or identity inside the audio file that it's not readable, that it's not visible, but it can be only scanned with a special tool. And this tool can detect the code that can tell that this is originally your track.
Like a watermark for audio.
Yes, watermark for it. And if somebody stole your audio and change it, they can still detect the code. And I was like, this is, and I go into Google. And of course, there's already 15 of them made in 2004, That's just what I'm saying. You as a beginner will come into a very strange space. And this whole AI technology in my thing was like, this is new. This is not new. Big companies been using AI already for decades. All the things when they can detect here, this happened is all machine learning. You know what I think is very cool, and I think this is going to be probably something that a lot of people are going to do because like I also built not a long time ago a desktop app using Electron. I said, cool. I want to build because I'm very, very bad in uploading videos on YouTube. I hate uploading videos. It's my worst thing to do. I cannot do it. I cannot do anything that requires me not to think. If I have to do something that it's like press here, press there, I'm like, oh, it's worth. Then using OpenAI API and YouTube API, I build YouTube uploader. I just take the beat and the image, I import it there. He automatically creates the video. He creates the title. He creates the description. He creates the text and upload it to my YouTube channel.
That's awesome. I feel like that would be really useful to folks.
I think a lot of people are going to probably in the future do that. They will build apps personalized for them. For you, that probably wouldn't be useful in a sense because you already have a video. So you need to edit the video and stuff. We, for Beatz, for example, we just use one image and audio file, which is my beat, and then that's it. So it's a pretty like fast. But when you have complex, for example, video or something like that, it's probably a bit different than goes,
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because I do have a workflow automation that checks once I've uploaded a video to my channel, then it'll like create a description, create a blurb, and then put my CTA at the end. So that I don't have to do that.
Do you use like make.com or something?
Yeah, so make.com is one of my favorites. N8N is another one too. But like just little things like that just saves me like a bunch of manual steps that I don't have to worry about.
I saw make.com and I bookmarked it and I was like, I need to try this, but I still didn't get my hand.
Oh yeah, it's really powerful, the stuff you can do with it as well. But yeah, just anything else you wanted to mention before we wrap up here?
Mostly I covered the whole idea of a non-technical person. I think that a lot of people can find it very true.
Yeah, I love shedding light on your story because like this is the real deal. This is what it takes to go from zero background.
This is what it takes. It takes years. It doesn't take 1 week. It doesn't take 3 prompts. It's a very long journey. But I think that's what makes it interesting. It's like a dating. You are more excited when you have to see someone 5 times than when you see them 1 time. It's a world. It's how we function. And I truly believe that you really, really have to go and give a lot of work and give a lot of patience and really love to do it. And when you do that, Like there is no question that you're going to succeed or not.
I love that. Thanks so much for joining my podcast. Super enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me.